So yeah, guys. That was all about engine braking. Before I move on to slipper clutch and say how it is life saving. I'll quickly say why engine braking is very important, right? I know people definitely might argue, come up and argue with me like when you have like dual ABS, right? And supermoto ABS, cornering ABS. Still, why do we need to rely on engine braking? Why it is so important? See, first of all, I totally agree with coming to the front braking, right? Because the maximum 70%, around 70%, I would say, the stoppage power comes from the front brake. Then I would say, like 15 to 20%, I would say, engine braking. Then 10% of your rear brake. But why engine braking matters, so one thing is the stability, because most of the times you might have noticed, right? So imagine a scenario, you are somewhere around like 180 kilometer per hour, and like there will be like sudden break, and you might notice, there will be sudden weight transfer, right, to the front. And it's kind of risky, and also if you completely rely on your front brake, right, there might be damage to your braking pads. So that might reduce your brake life or something. And also one more thing to consider is the smooth de-acceleration. With engine braking you'll be having smooth de-acceleration. It will be useful at corners or something, or u-turns or something. You'll be having very smooth de-acceleration. And also, yeah, I totally agree, there will be ABS assistance as well as the quick assistor assistance. So even that matters. And now moving on to slipper clutch, right? As I mentioned, right, if at the emergency situation, if revs doesn't match, and you want to get prevented from rear wheel getting locked or something, or skid or something, bike getting bubbles or something. So that time slipper clutch comes into picture. So what is a slipper clutch? Basically, it's called like back torque limiter clutch. Okay, so you might have noticed, when engine braking happens, there will be lots of back torque, okay, on your rear wheel. So slipper clutch, it basically limits that back torque. So it is called as back torque limiter clutch. And it is basically a special clutch. It is designed, like to partially slip, like when the engine speed, right, when the what we call RPM. So RPM is like lower than the rear wheels speed, right, during aggressive downshifting. So that time, the slipper clutch helps a lot. And why it's needed, I'll just quickly say my scenario, in Duke 390. Let's say, I'll explain the worst case scenario. So let's possibly assume like our bike is around like at my top speed. So Duke's 390 top speed is somewhere around like 180, and I'm at the top gear, okay, sixth gear. And there is an emergency situation, okay, there is something corner or u-turn or some object happens very suddenly. I mean, and you are at a stage of emergency, and you need to do emergency braking. And at that time, okay, some people might get panicked, okay, and they might do aggressive downshift. So I might go to third gear, okay, or I might need to go to that particular gear to maintain the speed. So people aggressively downshift right from 6 to the, it's like 6 5 4 3 2 3. So at that time what happens is like the engine's RPM jumps up, okay, jumps up very aggressively. And the rear wheel will be still spinning very faster, okay, then the engine wants. It will be spinning very hard, and the mismatch happens, in speed. And what engine tries to do is like it will try to slow the rear wheel very suddenly, okay. So because of this, right, because of this mismatching condition, the rear wheel might get locked, and there might be sudden skid, bike skid. And it might also throw you off balance, like suddenly to the mid corner or something. And that's where slipper clutch is very very important. And uh, I would say, I'll quickly say like how slipper clutch works, okay. So you might have noticed, inside the clutch, okay, there is we call it as ramps, or ball bearings or something. You might have heard about it, right? So under normal acceleration, okay, it behaves like a normal clutch only, like transferring power to your engine, and from your engine to the rear wheel. so it behaves as a normal clutch. But under hard downshifting, as I mentioned the scenario, right? During hard downshifting, so when the wheel tries to spin the engine faster than it should, then that time the ramps lift the clutch, okay, slightly. That the clutch plates are there, no? So the ramp tries to lift that clutch plates very slightly, allowing like controlled slip. There will be controlled slip. So that time what happens, like the back torque that is generated, right, it tries to absorb it. So once the back torque is absorbed, there won't be skid, or the rear wheel getting locked, and there will be like smooth downshift. So this is what happens.